Hello and welcome. I am Scarberlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private server Rebirth. We are with our mutation Stalker Tiger Shrike, who has 3.3 million XP and needs just under half a million to go to get to level 36. Over 18 million influence now. 2 levels to go. Level 37, we will be doing our second to last round of fully redoing our enhancements. That has to be done at um, 37 and 42, and then 47 is it. I guess third to last round. Um, so we're only going to be doing that 3 more times, and then that's it. In any case, we are working on a story arc for Colleen Nelson called The Path of the Dark, and she says I did a bit of research on this Path of the Dark, mentioned in the books you found on those fleeing council soldiers, and one of my contacts mentioned that he'd heard the name before when he was doing research for the Midnight Squad. Unfortunately, most of those documents were lost when the Circle of Thorns raided occult libraries in the wake of the Richte War. He did have a rough idea where the Circle might have kept their stolen tomes. I think that learning about the Path of the Dark could be very important. And the Circle won't be happy with my intrusion, so we better want to take an ally. We should be fine. Excuse me. So we're going to go to Talos Island, which we will do very quickly. Actually, I don't know if that's any faster than just skipping across the zone and using the train station, but it's fine. There we go. So we are 3 beads into level 35. It will probably take this entire story arc and then some to get to level 36, because the leveling curve starts to change now, where once you get into the 30s, it takes more and more XP, and I don't have a real sense for it here on Rebirth. It's really hard for me to gauge the possible differences. I don't know if they changed the XP leveling curve on Homecoming or not compared to Live, which is what Rebirth would have, sort of the final leveling curve on Live. I'm not exactly sure if there were any changes, and it's really hard to judge it because on Homecoming I was turning on and off the XP a lot, and on this, and here I have not. And also we did the Praetoria content here and not on Homecoming, so it's really hard to compare. It's really hard to compare the two to see what the leveling curves really were like. And we got a badge. We must have walked on a point of interest, the Nature Lover badge. Certainly wasn't intentional. I didn't even remember it was there. I haven't really gone badge collecting with this character. We still have, nevertheless, despite the fact that I'm not trying to collect badges in particular, we currently have 78. It's not a lot for this level. When I was playing Silver Phoenix, I think by this level I had well over 100. And I had started doing some of the Explorer badges. Explorer badges are going to be a pain in the neck to do with this character because of not having flight or super jump. Hover gets you up, but it'd still be a bit of a pain. So I don't know if I'm going to bother with them on her. I may wait until I get a character with super jump or flight and do it that way. So we're looking for the path books. Haven't seen anybody to fight yet. Let's see. Let's keep going this way. Oh, there's somebody to fight. And there's guys on the other side, which I had suspected, and I should have probably moved further the other way. Oh, that's not good. Alright, let's placate that guy. Okay, this isn't good. Let's back out. Let's try to pull away and let them follow me, but give my regen a chance to bring me back in terms of health. And then we can queue up an attack on this guy. Takes him out, and then we can finish this guy. to back up again, just so we don't get hit by too many guys at once. They leave me alone. Looks like it. Okay, so I don't think they're going to de-aggro. We would have to go away for a long time for that. But we should be able to smack them around now. Let's take this guy. And we'll let him come to us. Yeah, that was a mistake. I was trying to line up after attacking the Earththorn caster. I was trying to line up to knock the other guys back this way, and I did not notice the ones up ahead, which was sloppy. Now we're at the Nervago. Did he come down this way? They sometimes disappear when you placate them. Oh, there he is. Alright. Got him. Okay, so what I was trying to do with this is find just how big is this dungeon. Right. There we go. Okay, so we're at the edge of it, it looks like. Right, I don't think it's going to go any further to the west. And I hear a glowy. Now this wasn't me trying to find the glowies, this was me just trying to see how big is the dungeon, but worked out. These may not be the glowy we're looking for. But we'll see. That's what we want. Can't hit this guy. Yeah, the problem is hitting when they're this high a level, as you guys have seen. Alright, we got him. Guide's not as hard to hit because he doesn't have the stone armor. Now there's a patrol coming. So we want to definitely hide, boost, and assassinate. And that takes him out before he has a chance to power up. There's somebody talking over here, or that's just him. Okay. Now there's a guy swimming. We want to get the demon first. Let's go ahead and speed up our build-up. I'll let that come back because they're such a pain to do without build-up. I think I'm just going to wait for it. Now this is going to aggro all four of these guys. We should be okay if we can take the demon out right away. Yep. Oh, and he didn't even notice me. So I'm not going to do a knockback, even though I'd like to do an AoE right now. Just so that we don't KB to the other guy. Avoid aggroing him until we're done with this spawn. Man, I just cannot hit. 64%. I don't know, it seems like you get an awful lot of miss streaks. Come on. You get an awful lot of miss streaks for something that's 64% chance to hit. It's like you're playing D&D against an armor class of, what, 7? And you roll below a 7 3 times in a row. Not impossible, but it would be really sucky, and it seems to happen a lot. Okay. Oh great, 3 of these demons. At least they're only orange. The ice guys are not quite as bad as the dark guys because they don't debuff you as bad. They're not debuffing your 2-hit so much as your speed, which we can deal with hasten, or just by going a little more slowly. And there is the librarian. Okay. And there's a glowy here somewhere too. Librarian shouldn't aggro to me from over there. So let's take this guy out first. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. There is a glowy too, I hear it. There it is. Alright, librarian, me and you, buddy. Oh, come on. That is really annoying. Does a lot of damage. You can see he could basically 2 or 3 shot me. And now he's debuffing me. Wow, he overcame my immobilized defense too, briefly. So that means he had a 9 strength immobilization, or he put 2 5s on me at once or something. Got 11,000 XP for defeating him too, which is quite a lot. So if you think about how much XP we needed, about 500,000 to level up. How many bosses would that take? Right? 50? Right? How many lieutenants would it take? Probably 250. How many minions? Probably, what were the minions giving me? 1,600? Right? So then divide that in. I'm not going to bother to do the math, but you can, you know, see it would take 500 minions or something to level up. So before we actually talk to her, let's see what the clues say. So we found a first-hand account of the Roman soldier who first encountered the path with the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustus. Don't think Romulus Augustus was the actual last Roman emperor, but okay. So, I've been researching this Path of the Dark for you, and I think I may have a breakthrough. I was contacted by a man named Bentley Berkeley, who claims to have fought the path before, back in the 20s and 30s. Mr. Berkeley claims to be immortal. So I didn't really know what to make of him, but it's just possible that he may have good leads. Would you like me to contact him and arrange a meeting? Yes, we do want to meet him. So now we need to go to Boomtown. And I will do that, and I will bring you guys back when we are at the mission door. And we're back. And we are now trying to look for Bentley Berkeley in this abandoned office building, which is where he said he wanted to meet me. Which is a little weird that he would want to meet here, but okay. The council obviously found him first, which we knew was probably going to happen. Like, why he came to Boomtown to meet me instead of meeting me someplace safe. I guess he thought it was safe. I guess maybe this is a little safe house for him. I don't know. Go. So now we need to find him. And there could be up to 5 floors here. So we'll just have to look around and see. Whoops. Okay. Nightwolf. We'll start with... Actually, I'm going to start with the marksman, because I hate them slowing me. And I definitely don't want two of them slowing me. Another problem I did not have as much with my reflex scrapper because they couldn't hit me as much, right? And so much usefulness to being able to just avoid the hit. It's not the damage that you're avoiding, even. It's the secondary effects. So I never paid any attention to like whether I was fighting a marksman or a force or whatever, because the marksman couldn't hit me that often. And also the slows didn't matter as much because I didn't use the slows for defense, right? I didn't use click powers for defense other than elude, which you're not usually fighting council by the time you have elude very much, right? But this character, all of her healing requires click powers. I've mentioned this before, and that means that she's very dependent on recharge rate. And anything that slows her recharge rate doesn't just slow her attacks. That's bad enough, makes you stand in there longer, take more swings, but it also slows down her healing, her defenses, which then makes it take longer before you can click things. That's why health is actually more, haste is actually more important to this character than it was to the reflex scrapper. And of course the reflex scrapper also had quickness inherently, which kind of offset a single hit from a marksman. Wouldn't offset multiple hits, but the marksman didn't get multiple hits on you, right? Because they missed too much. So the counter to that is just kill them really fast, which you can't do if you're constantly missing. And there we go. But as a reflex scrapper, I did not discriminate between like marksman, force, grenade, fire. I didn't care, right? Because none of them could hit me any better than the others, and whatever secondary effects they had just weren't going to do anything because they weren't hitting enough to apply those secondary effects and stack them. Whereas with this character, she gets hit enough because she only has 2% defense when she's not hidden. She gets hit enough that those secondary effects are going to work, like slow and that kind of thing. Now, secondary effects like immobilize, hold, sleep, stun, those won't affect her because she has integration. But even there, if more of them land, there's a higher chance that one of them is going to that they're going to stack and overwhelm her mitigation, right? So the reflex scrapper, this is a great, and I mentioned this on the reflex scrapper channel. I think I mentioned it in episodes I published, but who knows, because there are about 40 of them I never got to publish thanks to Homecoming changing the rules and saying you can't. But the great unappreciated improvement, the great unappreciated ability of defense-based tanks and scrappers like reflex is it's not just the damage that you're mitigating, it's those secondary effects. Fewer of them hit, they're much less likely to stack, they're much less likely to slow you, and things like that. Is he down here? No. You take more raw damage, I think, with defense than with resistance because it's so luck-based, and you can get unlucky and just get hit 3 or 4 times in a row. With resistance, it doesn't matter because you're mitigating every hit, and you're getting hit most of the time anyway. With defense, like 50% resistance means, 10 attacks hit you, you take the damage of 5. 50% defense means 10 attacks are swung at you, you might be hit by anywhere between 0 and 10 of them, right? And sometimes you're going to be not hit at all, and other times you're going to get unlucky, and they're going to hit you every single time, and then your hit points just go down so fast, and sometimes unexpectedly, and you can get killed by surprise that way. But that's the disadvantage of it. The huge advantage of it is with a scrapper like this who's health, heal based rather than dodge based is that no, 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 I clicked the wrong things here. Hang on. This is what I want. Okay. Yeah, I accidentally turned off hide because I accidentally moved from tray 8 to 9. So, the great unappreciated ability of Super Reflex, and to be honest, I don't always appreciate it as I'm playing and generally I don't appreciate it until I play a character like this who's constantly being hit and therefore has to get those secondary effects over and over again applied to her. I often don't appreciate just how useful those dodging features are until I play a character like this and say, geez, I'm being slowed a lot more than I used to be. I'm getting stuff stacked on me. I didn't used to have that. Well, that's because Silver Phoenix could avoid it. Let's hasten up so that reconstruction comes back faster. We really don't need all these blues, I think, at this point. We may need one during this fight. It's very lucky, very good for us, that he is vulnerable to knockdown, which means he almost can't hit me at all. He gets up, except if I screw up like that, he gets up around at the same speed as focus recharges. So I just keep hitting him with it. Of course, if you miss, it doesn't do you any good, but he only got, what, one swing at me? Which is pretty awesome. So this character does get good damage mitigation from knockdown. You can do that. I heard a glowy. There it is. And I heard it. Oh, and I walked up here too fast. I didn't think there was anybody left. Let's do a knockdown of these guys. There we go. That mitigates some damage. And then we finish him off. And then we knock this guy down. And hit him while he's down. That takes him out. Placate. Build up. Crit. That didn't crit. Well, we're done. Okay, so now we gotta find the glowy. Is this gonna be Berkeley's body? I don't think so. It's gonna be a note from him. And the clue says, grabbed by jackbooted thugs. Luckily ready for that. Paragon City and all. Check with your friend. Sent message regarding where to find me. Grabbed by jackbooted thugs. I love it. Yeah, they do some very clever things with clues in here, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but there is just a random mission that you can do. I actually took a screenshot of it and sent it to some friends of mine who've never played City of Heroes, but you're fighting the Clockworks, and they have a device whose acronym is PLOT, the plot device that can allow them to change reality. It was really funny, and the way it was written was really cute, and I just sort of screenshotted that. I was like 12 levels when I screenshotted that and sent it to my friends. This is why I love City of Heroes, because I just thought it's entertaining and fun, and it's the kind of thing that they did in this game to just make it enjoyable. Alright, so the council must have grabbed Berkeley to keep him from telling you what he knows about the Path of the Dark. It looks like he was anticipating that, though. You got a message while you were out? Berkeley sent us a set of coordinates. I'll take a look at them and see what they mean. So we will worry about this in the next episode, I think, because we are at, well, we're at 24 minutes. Let's do another mission. These haven't been that long. If it's not a defeat all, I can go through it quickly. If it is a defeat all, I can pause it, so it won't get too. We'll make sure this episode doesn't get like to be an hour or something. I checked those coordinates. We got after Bentley Berkeley was kidnapped by the council. They may be the location of a council base, probably where they're keeping Berkeley. Yeah, you'd think. So you're ready to go rescue an immortal. This one will probably be tough. They may be expecting you, but they'll likely have... they may not be expecting you, but they'll likely have a heavy guard on him, just in case. I recommend you prepare yourself and take some friends with you. So they keep warning us to take people with us. And I keep ignoring them because I'm already on +2, right? So if it was +0, we definitely wouldn't need people to help us. I think we're doing pretty well at +2. What I do want to do here, actually, let's go ahead and get some more yellies. This guy you can sell, I think, full price to, so I'm going to just go ahead. Not using any recipes right now. There we go. We have 18.4 million influence. I don't know how I want to do this. Like that, I guess. That's kind of ugly. How about like that? There we go. Excuse me. So, to Independence Port, my friends, and the rescue of Bentley Berkeley. And the mission is fortunately real close. So we'll head over there. So one of the things you might have noticed is among the characters that I created for recording, the first one was Silver Phoenix, the second one was Liberty Lass, the third one was actually based on Biome, who was a female dominator that I made up during live, and I recorded like 50 episodes and never got to show any of them because Homecoming changed the rules. And now we have Tiger Shrike, and they're all female characters, and you might wonder, why is I making female characters? How come you never make male characters? I do. It's just that when I'm creating a character and I get an idea for them, I just, the character comes to me as a male or a female as I'm playing around in the character creator, and that's just what I do. This one, all of those characters, by the way, are based on former characters that I leveled up. And this one was from the live game, from very early in the live game. I played her as an alt for a long time. Originally, she was a villain, in fact, when there were no villains in City of Villains or any of that. There was no City of Villains. And I created up a guy called Mastermind, who is like a guy who challenges the heroes with a bunch of riddles and puzzles. And since he wasn't actually fightable, I didn't create Mastermind within the character creator. I created Tiger Shrike, who was a mutant alien that he had kidnapped from her world or something, and she had she was his emissary, and she was the one giving out the riddles. And then after the scenario was over, like, the heroes basically got her on their side, and now this guy's not knocking over, so that's bad. They got her on her side and turned her back to the good side. We're gonna need everything we have to beat this guy, I think. Including some accuracy. Yeah, I just can't hit him. Double accuracies. And he's not knocking over, so yeah, that's gonna make it rough. Let's hasten up. He is a +3 boss, so that's part of it. One of the things I don't like about, and I'll get back to my characters in a second, one of the things I don't like about fighting like +3s and +4s is that once you get high enough in the bonus, like once you get high enough notoriety, all bosses and maybe even all lieutenants are purple, and then you can't, like, in the normal course of the game, if you're playing +0, right, a lieutenant is yellow, a boss is orange, so if you're fighting a boss and he's red, you know immediately that he's +2, and if he's purple, you'd know immediately that he was +3. Right, that literally took everything I had to beat him. Just a single boss. That's just because of his resistance, because he wouldn't knock down, and because he was +3. So yeah, I prefer being able to tell just from the colors. I wish there was colors past purple just so that it was easier to see visually. Because I don't always think to look at the level up here. In any case, back to characters. So what makes me decide a character is male or female? I don't know. Right? It's not a conscious decision. It's just this what I feel like as I'm working on the character and picking powers and stuff. And it just comes to me like this seems like a female character to me, or this seems like a male character. So I was looking around. One of the suggestions in one of the comments for the next character was a Dark Melee Bio Brute, and I can't remember if it's like biomechanics or something. I can't remember what the bio stands for, but it's one of the newer power sets, and it looks really cool. And as I was, dinking around in the character creator and thinking about it, if I do that character, it's going to be male. That character just is male to me. I don't know why I think that. It's just the image I was getting in my head as I was looking at powers and imagining the dark powers and the bio powers working together and their special effects. I was imagining a male character. I don't know why. I just was. And so now that doesn't mean I'm going to make up a male brute, right? Because I want to kind of give some options. I'm not going to open the whole thing to everybody, but I want to give some options to the viewers and let you guys decide like which of among 3 or 4 ATs we do. From those ATs, then which power sets we're going to do. I'll give you options. I'm not going to give everything, right? Because there are some power sets I don't like, or ones I've already wanted. Like we're not, martial arts is not going to be an option. We've done that already. Claws, like a claws brute would not be an option. We've done claws already. Why would we do more, right? I don't even know if you can do a claws brute, but if you could, I wouldn't give you that option. But I'll give you a few options, and we'll see which one we want. And it may be that people are going to choose, like, I don't know, energy, melee, and Vuln. And that might say female to me, right? I just don't know. But if we do end up with a dark melee bio character, that will be a male, because that's just what came to me. And I really can't explain how a character concept comes to me like that. Or whether the character is going to be male or female, whether the character is going to be a mutant, whether the character is going to be alien or human, whether they're going to be, robotic or, biological, whether they're going to be some kind of magical character. I can't really explain how that comes to me. It just kind of organically does as I'm working on the character, and that's not true only for City of Heroes. It's true for all my characters in all games. My D&D game, we when I was working on the starting town, it's a small town. It has a 100 soldier Roman century guarding it, and a prefect who's like a mayor. Still looking for Bentley. I don't think he's going to be back in the prison, but let's just check. Anyway, in this town, I made up the mayor guy, the prefect, and some of the other characters, and then I had to make up the commander of the Roman century. And I don't know what made me think of it this way, but that person, when I imagined the character, I imagined it as a woman. It's a female commander, a female centurion. And I don't, obviously in real Roman times they wouldn't have allowed that, but in my world, male and female characters can both do everything. And I do that just to make it, A, more interesting to the players. They're not always interacting with a male character, right? And just B, to make it better for them in the sense that I don't want them to feel like if they're playing a female character, which only one of them is, I don't want them to think that there are, things their character can't do just because it's a female. Everybody can do everything. So if that particular character wants to kind of join a Roman legion, I don't want her to feel like she can. Okay, let's get this guy out of here, and let's AoE these guys and try to get a little bit of relief with them knocked over. Try to take another one out. There we go. placate one just so he stops attacking me. Oh, that was the wrong one. He's stuck, so I didn't need to placate him. We're good now. Yeah, so I don't know what made me make the Centurion a female. I just did, right? It just, when I was imagining the character, that's just what came into my head. And so I don't know why the Dark Melee character seems male to me. That's just what came into my head. So, so one thing you guys aren't going to be able to do is tell me whether it's male or female. It's just going to be when I start making it up, it'll just come to me. I would like to do a male, so if I'm thinking about it consciously, right? I'd like to do a male just because I haven't done one yet. And, you know, always doing what you haven't done is better than doing what you've already done. On the other hand, if a character just screams female to me for some reason, I don't want to force it to be male, and then I'm not going to enjoy playing it because I'm going to feel like it's not the right character, if you see what I mean. And so, so we'll just see. I'm going to let you guys choose from among possible archetypes, and 2 or 3. I mean, there's several that I want to do. I'm fairly certain this character will be a villain, no matter what we choose. So what I may do is only allow choices of villain archetypes, and I think that's going to be the case, right? So, Brute, Corruptor, Dominator, Mastermind, I think are going to be the 4 options. Let's just make sure he's not up here. He shouldn't be. There's usually nobody up here, but just wanted to check while we're here. Unfortunately, hostages don't make little humming noises the way the glowies do. So now I want to point out, you can use, this is a hero right now using a villain archetype. Those archetypes have been opened up, so it's not the case any longer that... Is he going to aggro to me? I hope not. It's not the case any longer that you have to play a villain archetype on the villain side. I could make up a scrapper and play on the villain side, but I would like to play on the villain side, and I would like to use a classical villain archetype to do it. So I'm going to give you the choice. I'm perfectly happy doing Mastermind, Corruptor, Dominator, or Brute. And then once we have... Oh good, this guy knocks over. That's good. Once we have chosen from among those archetypes, then I'll look at the powers and we'll decide which power set. I'll give you guys maybe 2 or 3 choices of ones that I would love to play. If it turns out to be a Brute, I may only give you choices of the secondary because I'm almost certain I'm going to want to play Dark Melee. I always wanted to do that and never have. Mastermind, I may not give you, if you guys choose that, I may not give you any options because I very much want to play a Mastermind. Corruptor, I have no particular interest in any particular powers, although Sonic is interesting to me, so I may give you some options including that. And Dominator, I might just say anything but plant since I've done that before, unless I get the urge to just play the plant Dominator again, in which case then you'll have no choice at all. So we'll just have to see. I don't know. I don't think we're going to do all 4 of those guys for plays, Let's Plays. I think it makes sense to me to do a few more. We have done all the way through on the hero side. We've done hero side Vigilante with Praetoria, right? Sometimes the hostage back here, but not usually. We have done, well, or we will have done with this, with the Stalker. We've done Scrapper, we've done Stalker. I can see going all the way through the villain side with one of the villain ATs. And then, I don't know, maybe one more hero side on Rebirth. And then I feel like that's probably enough. And then, you know, we'll just to see, do I want to keep going maybe with other games? One game I've not done any Let's Plays with, and I'm not sure I'd want to do it on my current computer because I still only have 16 gigs of RAM. I was never able to make the additional RAM that I bought actually work with this motherboard for whatever reason, so Um, I got tired of playing with it and just gave up, so it's just sitting on my desk, the RAM. Um, but there's a couple of other games that I really like that I haven't done any Let's Plays with. One is Satisfactory, which I guess is no longer early access, and there's some it's a really cool game. It's factory building in 3D, so it's kind of like the game Factorio, but I'm not interested in Factorio. I don't like the graphics of that game, but I love Satisfactory. And I was playing it for a long time, and just by myself. We could do a Let's Play of that if people are interested. Not now, but after we're done with all the City of Heroes stuff. Another game that I played a lot, also because I like the building and the creativity, was Ark. And I don't know if that's still even being developed anymore. I feel like it might be at the end of its development cycle, but we can still play it. I don't know if people would be interested in that. That's a much more brutal game. I'm not great at it. I don't play multiplayer. I just play by myself on the server, trying to, like, my goal is to just get one of every dinosaur and build an awesome base. And there's Bentley. Don't know if we're going to get ambushed here, but we've cleaned out just about everybody, so it should be alright. Nope, we're done. And we got a clue. Bentley says, "Hi there, Bentley Berkeley here. Pleased to meet you. You did a big thing stopping the council fellas from leaving. They were going to join something called the Path of the Dark, a nasty secret society I first encountered back in the 1920s. I got hooked up with a bunch of guys and dolls who were fighting the worst the supernatural could offer, and the Path of the Dark was on that list. I only tangled with the Path a few times, but as others in the group fought them extensively. There was this functionary in the Italian government named Rodolfo Uzzano, who was determined to contact them. Jenny Bassi and her team often clashed with his boys. I may not have known a lot about the Path, but Jenny's grandson Sam lives in the city. I know that Jenny kept a journal, and that might give you some insight. I don't know where the kid is these days. I got a bad habit of losing track of people. You'd think I'd learn, wouldn't you? Talk to Peter Stemets. He tends to keep an eye on things. And tell Pete hello for me. He wasn't Pete the last time I knew him, but he should remember me." So one of the things I actually don't like, and it's not about this particular story arc. The story arc's cool. But one of the things I don't like is that we got to talk to Pete, and I've got his phone number here somewhere, right? But if you call him, you can't talk to him about this. You have to physically go to him, which is kind of stupid. It's like he won't talk to you over the phone. I don't know. And I think that's just because they originally, I don't think you had cell phones like in beta, and people started complaining about running back to contact, so they gave him a cell phone, but they never rejiggered these types of missions to take the cell phones into account, even though this is a much later mission. Oh, we're being ambushed. And sadly, it's a +1 ambush, so that's not going to be very challenging. Now you'll see what this character would do against +1s, guys. Super easy. Bam, done. This is why we use +2 and +3. Alright, I think we're going to stop here. And we've had our ambush, and we'll talk to Peter Stemets next time. But for now, I am Scarpalock, and this has been City of Heroes.